Today, we're going to discover the origins and mysteries surrounding Baal, the storm god of power and fertility. We're also going to talk about his iconography, his controversial portrayal in religious texts, and explore his lasting impact on culture and the occult. Baal originally was more widely known as Baal or Baal, B-A-A-L. The name derived from the Northwest Semitic languages that flourished in the Levant. Baal translates to Lord, a title befitting a figure of great reverence and authority. His prominence is undisputed in the Canaanite religion, where Baal was worshipped as a deity of immense power, governing the essential elements of daily life in the natural world. As a god of weather, Baal was believed to control the rain and storms, vital for fertility of the land and the prosperity of the people. This deep connection with agriculture positioned Baal as a key deity in the Canaanite pantheon. As the cycles of planting and harvesting were intertwined with his will, it was his influence over fertility that also rendered Baal a central figure in the rituals and cultural practices of the time, embedding him in the very fabric of Canaanite society. His legacy, which is powerful and enduring, marks him as a figure of significant interest and respect in the ancient world. But his identity is multifaceted, shaping the cultural and religious landscape of the ancient Near East. The term Baal, which meant Lord, or means Lord, isn't just a singular name, but a title that was bestowed upon different local deities through the Levant. Each Baal held dominion over specific aspects of life and nature, reflecting the diverse needs and practices of the people who worship them. One might find a Baal who is the master of rain and thunder in one city, ensuring the fertility of the crops, while another Baal might oversee the sun and warmth in a different locale. These deities were firmly rooted in the everyday life of their worshippers, symbolizing their dependence on the elements that these gods mastered. So when one spoke of Baal, they invoked not just a single entity, but a tapestry of powers and protectors, each interwoven with the fabric of a particular community and its environmental features. With such a rich array of characteristics and duties, the many faces of Baal remind us of the complex relationship ancient societies had with the divine and the natural world they sought to understand and influence. Baal Hadad stands out as an extraordinary figure in ancient mythology because he was worshipped in the coastal city of Ugarit, which is now modern-day Syria, and his dominion was over the elements, storms, rain, bountiful harvests. As a god of both fertility and weather, Baal Hadad was deeply revered, ensuring that the land was fruitful and that the cycle of seasons followed its source. His followers believed that it was his thunderous voice that echoed in the stormy skies and his generosity that was seen in the fertile plains. In many ways, Baal Hadad was the heartbeat of Ugarit, often referred to simply as Baal, the Lord, encapsulating his paramount importance in the pantheon of the time. Within the pages of the Hebrew Bible, Baal is often portrayed as an adversary to the true worship encouraged by the Israelite prophets. Referred to as a false god, his presence stirred considerable opposition among the followers of Yahweh, Jehovah. I'm always going to say it as Yahweh. I don't know the correct pronunciation. I've heard it pronounced as Yahweh since I was a little kid. So, we're just going to say it as we see it. Tensions escalated as prophets vehemently spoke out against the practices of Baal's worshippers, trying to steer people away from what they saw as idolatrous worship. This cultural and religious struggle reflects the deep divides of the time, where spiritual allegiance was not just a matter of personal belief, but also of communal identity and survival. Through narratives of confrontations and warnings, the biblical texts give us glimpses of the ancient dynamic between competing belief systems and the rising monotheistic fate that would come to shape a significant part of the world's religious landscape. Baal's visual representation offers key insights into his perceived powers and responsibilities. One of the most striking symbols associated with him is the thunderbolt he's often depicted holding. This iconic image signifies Baal's dominion over storms and weather, reinforcing his identity as a mighty storm god. It's akin to the way modern superheroes are depicted with symbols of their powers. Just like a badge that tells you what they stand for, the ancient people who worship Baal, seeing him with a thunderbolt, would be a strong reminder of his ability to both nurture their crops with rain and wield the destructive force of storms. In a long time ago, the land of Israel found itself at a crossroads of belief. Here we find King Ahab and his wife Jezebel at the center of a religious whirlwind. They were well known for encouraging the people to worship Baal, but not everyone was really pleased with the royal couple's actions. Enter into the picture the prophet Elijah, who was a staunch advocate for the worship of Yahweh, the God of Israel. Tensions rose as Elijah boldly challenged the 450 prophets of Baal to a duel of divine powers on Mount Carmel. This is no ordinary contest. It was a battle for the hearts and minds of the people. Elijah's unwavering faith in Yahweh led to a remarkable demonstration of divine fire from heaven that consumed his water-drenched altar, starkly contrasting the lack of response to the prophet of Baal's fervent prayers. This miraculous event marked a pivotal moment in the nation's spiritual landscape and set the stage for the demise of Baal worship in the region. While the ancient cultures revered Baal as a powerful deity of weather and fertility, time would cast him in a much darker light within Christian traditions. Baal, as he is now referred to in this context, underwent a stark transformation from a respected god to a malevolent figure in demonology. In the Christian worldview, Baal was no longer a force of nature, but rather more notorious as one of the 7 princes of hell. This marked him as a primary demon, a significant persona in the hierarchy of infernal beings that medieval scholars and theologians would write about with caution and intrigue. This shift reflects a fascinating aspect of religious evolution where deities from older pantheons are often repurposed as exemplars of moral and spiritual adversities in new doctrinal landscapes. In the Lesser Key of Solomon, it casts Baal in an even more formidable light. Here, in the ancient text, Baal is not just a demon, but he emerges as the first one listed in the Ars Goetia, which is essentially a roster of 72 demons. This prime position suggests his significant status among the infernal hierarchy, which is particularly fascinating about Baal. What is particularly fascinating about Baal, according to the Lesser Key of Solomon, is his ability to give to those who summon him the power of invisibility. It's this attribute that captures the imagination, which feeds into the narratives of magic and the mystery surrounding his name. Beyond the marvel of vanishing from sight, Baal is also believed to exert command over a vast, formidable host, 66 legions of demons. It's a number that reinforces his might and influence in the supernatural realm. This depiction of Baal intertwines elements of authority, secrecy, and the supernatural, illustrating why he has remained a figure of such captivating and perhaps daunting stature through the centuries of lore and legend. The Lesser Key of Solomon also paints a more vivid picture of Baal's transformative nature. While Baal isn't just limited to a single form, he also embodies the supernatural ability to shift shapes, appearing as a man-cat toad, or an amalgam of all these creatures with spider legs or whatever. What's really funny is it kind of looks like Prince Charles. Each guise holds significance, perhaps hinting at the depth of his infernal powers and the complexities of his existence in the realms of the occult. Baal's story doesn't end with ancient scriptures or medieval grimoires. His presence extends into the modern day through occult practices. In these clandestine traditions, Baal is considered a formidable entity, regularly invoked and some say controlled by adepts of the mystical arts. Practitioners believe that by summoning Baal, they harness powers associated with his domains, which include not just knowledge but aspects of the visible and invisible worlds. The enigmatic ritual processes, shrouded in secrecy, are designed to contact and command such entities as Baal for various purposes that remain obscure to the uninitiated. The name and concept of Baal or Baal have not just lingered through the ages, but have also weaved their way into the very fabric of our arts and literature. As a symbol often associated with paganism or the occult aspects of society, Baal's influence resonates with a sense of mystery and the arcane, whether through the brushstrokes of an artist capturing the essence of an ancient myth, or the words of a writer exploring the depths of the supernatural. Baal continues to cast a long shadow representing the human fascination with the mystical and the power of ancient beliefs in our modern world. Throughout history, archaeologists have uncovered striking clues that illuminate the worship of Baal in the ancient Near East. Inscriptions etched in the stones of time reveal prayers and invocations to this mighty god. Statues are testimonies in terracotta and stone, paying homage to his divine status. They stand as silent yet profound symbols of the reverence ancient cultures held for Baal, showing us just how significant this deity was in daily life and spiritual practice. Unearthing these artifacts is akin to unraveling the threads of an age-old tapestry, woven with the worship and adoration of a god who once commanded the skies, the land, and the hearts of his followers. So there. Really, I mean, that's kind of where we're at. I'm just surprised it ended really abruptly while I was reading it. What was once a revered fertility and weather god in ancient times underwent a stark transformation in Christian tradition, becoming none other than a demon. This remarkable change is more than just a shift in titles. It reveals the intricate web of religions as they evolve through time. As new belief systems rose to prominence, former deities like Baal were often recast as antagonistic figures, mirroring the conflict between old and new ideologies. The story of Baal's descent from divine status to demonic entity encapsulates a broader narrative of religious syncretism, where the threads of multiple faiths are woven together, sometimes harmoniously, sometimes contentiously. This phenomenon is a testament to how societies reinterpret spiritual figures to align with emerging religious narratives and assert their own spiritual paradigms. That's all I got. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Later.